Hi everyone, welcome back to On the Road with Iona, another episode, and this time I'm going to share with you a putting session. I've come down on a beautiful day in London to do a little bit of work on my putting, and I thought that it might be interesting just to share with you how I go about that, because again, you know, putting's such a personal part of the game, and it's a game within the game, and it's so important if you want to get a score going. And I've learned in a recent round of chasing the red that my putting simply isn't good enough. I was hitting some out the toe, I was hitting some out the heel. So I'm really going to work today on one thing on the putting, and that is hitting the ball out the middle of the putter. So let me share with you this drill that hopefully you can learn something from and maybe use yourself if you feel like you want to. So this is the putter that I'm using right now. As you can see, it's from the Scotty Cameron custom shop. She's a beauty. All these junkyard dog, which you know I'm obsessed with dogs, so anything that's got dogs on it makes me very happy. As many of you'll know, I normally have my red putter cover on my putter at all times. I actually left my putter cover at Wentworth recently, so I'm waiting to get it back. So in the meantime I've got dogs, which seems like a pretty good alternative, and underneath I have my Newport, which could do with a bit of a clean, to be honest, but it's a beautiful looking putter in the matte black. You've got the three red lifesavers on the back of the putter, and then the blacked out line, which just helps me to try and find the middle of the putter. There's 4 degrees of loft on this putter, which is pretty standard, and it's a standard length, 34 inches as well. So it's a beautiful, beautiful putter. I'm working hard to try and find the middle more often, and it sounds simple. It's like, well, duh, you want to hit the putts out the middle, but I've put 3 balls down on the green. It's so easy just to marginally set up out the toe or out the heel, and that can make a huge difference when you're putting. So, you know, I've been out there on the golf course, I feel like I've got an idea of where the middle is, but now that I've come to the putting green, I'm going to stand and do a drill that helps me to work on hitting it more consistently. You're going to need 3 balls, and you're going to need 2 T-pegs. Any T-pegs will do, ideally matching. We'll use 2 black T-pegs. So I'm going to get these pegs, and I know from this position that's a pretty straight putt, so you don't want to overcomplicate things. So if you can find a straight-ish putt on the green, then that's going to make things a little bit easier. This was a putting drill that I was taught by my old coach Christian Baker, and what you're going to do is set your putter up like this, and you're going to create a little gate. Now obviously the smaller the gate, the harder this is. So I'm going to start with the gate with a little bit of margin for error as I start. So as you can see, I've created this gate, but even there I clipped it. If I go to hit the ball out the heel, I'm going to catch the top T-peg. If I go to hit the ball out of the toe of the putter, I'm going to catch the bottom T-peg. So it's a really simple drill. It doesn't require any fancy equipment, and it's a really, really good way of working on finding the middle. Now it's important once you hit a few that you make sure you've set the drill up correctly. So it's looking pretty good. I just pulled the first one, and like I say, I've given myself a little bit of margin for error here. Oof. Now I've got 3 balls for a reason. If you're going around a green, for example, working on your pace, it's great just to have 1 ball, because you don't get a second putt, do you, when you're out there on the golf course to go, I'll just try that one again. In this particular drill, I'm trying to drill in the feeling of finding the middle of my putter. One thing I will say, just like a little housekeeping thing, you see a lot of tour pros when they're out there practicing on the putting green, if they are doing a drill like this, that will put their towel down where their feet are. Move it a bit more that way. And what that's going to do is keep me in the good books with the greenkeeper, because if I stood here and hit even just a number of these putts, I'm going to damage the green with my feet. I'm just working on very simply, nothing else. I'm not working on tempo, timing, pace. I'm just working on that tick-tock. That came slightly out the toe, so that's missed left. That feeling That was also slightly out the toe. I've got away with that. So I'm going to just make this gate a little bit smaller. Show you how hard it can become. Right, that's pretty narrow now. Depending on how long you've got, I don't have hours to work on my putting anymore. So 5 sets of 3 balls times 2 for me, that's enough. I'm going to do this drill 5 times with these 3 balls, take a little rest, and then I'm going to do it again. It's good for the confidence too when you see the ball rolling in. Clip that top tee, so I know that I was just hitting that ever so slightly out the heel. So that would be the start of my drill, and that would be 1 set. That was right out the heel. So it's a really good drill, just using 2 T-pegs that can help you find the middle of the putter more consistently. It's amazing how much that can help you. And certainly the reason I'm sharing this with you is because this is a drill that was shared with me by my original coach, Christian Baker, and it really, really helped me with my confidence when I was putting, and I find that I hold a lot more putts. So I hope it helps you too.